First heat for the street stocks. Brendan Moody on the inside. Ray Claflin on the outside. Down they stretch. There come. And we're off and running at Airborne. Moody gets to the top spot on the inside. Claflin in the 90. Stuck on the outside. Here comes competition from the middle of the pack. Kevin Sorrell looking to bust his way through in the 44. Brendan Moody, your leader. The battle is on for second. Randy Haywood. 4 deep as they go into the corner. Watch Haywood, and we got a tangle. Haywood spins. The 44 spins. We come down the stretch. Moody, your leader, and we go under caution. They come down for the restart. Brendan Moody on the inside. On the outside, Ray Claflin gets the jump. And watch out for the 21 of Mark Lamberton. 3, 4 wide, down the backstretch. Claflin on the inside. There goes Haywood on the outside. Side by side. As they come to the top of the stretch, here comes Lamberton to make it 3 deep. Ray Claflin on the inside is the leader. Randy Haywood on the outside. Here comes Lamberton 3 deep into the turn to take the lead. Now we got a spin. That's Moody going around as he tangles with a 27 of Danny Matten. And everybody seems to have it back and together. We'll pick the leaders up. Lamberton well in front. The 82 of Haywood is running second. Lamberton is the leader. Randy Haywood runs second. 1 lap to go this time by. Ray Claflin runs in the 3rd spot. Mark Lamberton with a comfortable lead entering turn 4. Randy Haywood runs second. The battle will be on for the final qualifying spot. Claflin, Randy Yance will both qualify and move on to the semi-feature. Street stock, heat number 2. Grego Lawrence on the inside. Bruce Dusablon on the outside. Row number 2, George White in the 3. And Billy Fountain on the outside. Down the stretch they come, and we're off in heat number 2. Dusablon on the outside takes the lead. George White looks to move up to the 2nd spot. Dusablon with the lead. George White second. Battle for 3rd. The 35 of Ron Weston and the 20 of Grego Lawrence. This time by Bruce Dusablon, still in the lead and well in command. George White trying to move in the 3. And a good battle battle for the third spot between Lawrence and Weston. It'll be white flag this time by as we continue to watch the battle for the third spot. Lawrence starts to pull away. We'll go back and pick up the leaders. Dusablon out of Vermont leading it in the 2. George White will pick up the second spot. They come down to take the checkered. Bruce Dusablon is the winner. And George White finishes second. High handicap heat for the street stocks. Ron Klein, Chet DeVarney in the front row. Robin Wood and Monty Lemaire in row number 2. Jimmy Young and Brian Williams in the third row. Ralph Rockwell and Steve Renadet make up row number 4. They come down the stretch and DeVarney jumps to the lead on the outside. Monty Lemaire looks to the outside of Ron Klein. Robin Wood runs in the 4th spot. Brian Williams 5th, and here comes Steve Renadet working his way through traffic. Lemaire drifts high. That allows Klein to take over the second spot. Wood looks to move to third. And here comes Renadet on the inside. He goes underneath Lemaire. And Renadet takes over the 4th spot. Now Renadet will move underneath Robin Wood and take over third. Back at the front, Chet DeVarney Jr. continues to lead it. Ron Klein runs second, and Renadet looks to move up a spot. Side by side, Renadet powers by on the front stretch. 1 lap to go. Chet DeVarney leads it in the 14. Steve Renadet runs second. Ron Klein is third. And your winner of the third street stock heat, Chet DeVarney Jr. Steve Renadet finishes second, Ron Klein third, and Robin Wood picks up the 4th and final transfer spot to the semi-feature. First heat of the evening for the street stocks. Chris Durkee and Bucko Branna make up the front row. Red Mead, Tony Andrews in row number 2. And they're off. Durkee jumps out to the lead. Tony Andrews quickly moves up to the second spot. Branham stuck on the outside as Red Mead will move underneath. Branham really going hard into turn number 2. Goes high and everyone will go by. The battle is on at the front. Chris Durkee and Tony Andrews. Second, Red Mead is third. Andrews looks for the inside. And Tony Andrews will take the lead. Durkee tries to come back on the outside, but slips up. Andrews your leader. Durkee second. David Gay looks to move into that second spot. Gay goes to the inside of Durkee, going into turn 3, and will take the second spot. Back at the front, Tony Andrews starts to pull away in the 20. David Gay has taken over that second spot. There'll be one lap to go this time by. David Gay starts to close the gap a bit. Rookie competitor in the Flying Tigers, Tony Andrews, comes down the stretch and looks to pick up the win in the first heat of the evening for the Street Stocks. Street Stock heat number 2. On the pole, Bob McCaskill, Richard Bootsy on the outside. McCaskill jumps out to the lead. Brian Hoare looks to move inside and take over the second spot. Last week's winner, Jim Barton, moves up in the 57. Side by side, 4 in, 4 out, as they head down the backstretch. McCaskill, Bootsy, Brian Hoare, and Jim Barton. Bootsy tries to move around on the outside, and he takes over the top spot. Brian Hoare moves up, and here comes Joe Thomas with that familiar inside move going into turn 3. They drift too high. We've got trouble in turn 3. Barton goes around. And we'll see our first caution flag of the evening in the Tigers. Around turn 3, on the way down the stretch for the restart. Bootsy on the inside, Brian Hoare on the outside. They're side by side as they head down the backstretch. Joe Thomas runs third.
As they come hard in the corner number 3. It is still Bootsy on the inside as we go halfway.
Joe Thomas moves alongside Brian Hoare. Kip Stockwell will also move up. Now Thomas looks to the outside of Bootsy. And Stockwell looks to go underneath Thomas. Bootsy gets squirrely, and Thomas and Stockwell get together, and Brian Hoare 3 deep on the outside. Here goes Hoare 3 wide to take the lead. Now a sandwich, Stockwell in the middle. Holy cow. Kip Stockwell, where did he come from? Trying to move on the outside of Richard Bootsy on the final lap. Stockwell takes the lead. Bootsy can't stay with him on the inside. They come down the stretch at Stockwell. Fantastic action in the Tigers here at Airborne. High handicap heat for the Tigers. Dave Whitcomb on the inside. Mark Lanfear on the outside. They're still side by side. And now Whitcomb pulls ahead going into turn 3. Dave Whitcomb leads it. The battle is on in the middle of the pack. Mark Lanfear in the 49, the 36 of Scott Carpenter. They'll battle it out for second. Norm Andrews runs fourth. Lanfear able to hold off Carpenter, but now Scott will look to the outside as they go down the backstretch. Whitcomb starts to pull away in the 25. Toward the back of the pack, Greg Lyman and Steve Miller get together. Dave Whitcomb still in command. Mark Lanfear second. Scott Carpenter really smoking the tires hard in the second turn. Those 4 cars hold on to your transfer spot. Andrews, Carpenter, Lanfear, and Dave Whitcomb. Carpenter tries it again on the outside. And Norm Andrews might slip through in the 2. The last lap, Dave Whitcomb in command. The battle for second. Dave Whitcomb will win it in the 25. And second will be Lanfear. Scott Carpenter finishes third. Norm Andrews fourth. In your high handicap heat for the Tigers. Street stock semi-feature. Ray Claflin and Randy Yance in your front row. And they're under green. And immediately Yance jumps on the outside to take the lead. And Mark Lamberton will move right behind him and take over the second spot. Bruce Dusablon moves outside of Ray Claflin. He takes over third. Randy Yance leads it in the 34. Mark Lamberton runs second. Bruce Dusablon looks to move inside the 21. Now Dusablon takes over the second spot. Dusablon moves outside and takes over the top spot. Mark Lamberton moves up in the 21. George White in the 3 takes over the 4th spot. They'll be halfway this time by. Bruce Dusablon starts to pull away. A battle for second, side by side. Randy Ants and Mark Lamberton. Lamberton tries the outside. White gives Yance a bump. And Steve Reddington and Randy Haywood join the fray. 5-car battle for second. Bruce Dusaplon is so far ahead you can count this a victory. 2 laps to go. Dusaplon with a straightaway lead. Reddington comes through the middle. And he moves up on the outside. Reddington moves to second. But as we pan back to the front, we catch Bruce Dusaplon taking the white flag. Dusaplon will win it. Will pick up the battle for the second, third, and fourth spots. Reddington is second. George White runs third. And finishing fourth will be the 34 of Randy Ants. Street stock semi-feature goes to Bruce Dusaplon of Milton, Vermont. Here's semi-feature. Chris Durkee and Bucko Branham in the front row. Tony Andrews, Dave Gay in row number 2. Durkee breaks out on top. Tony Andrews moves into second. Richard Bootsy moves up along the inside. Now Andrews gets the inside line going into the second turn and takes the top spot. Bucko Branham looks to move up. Side-by-side battle for the third spot. Bootsy and Durkee. Joe Thomas moves up along with Dave Whitcomb. Back at the front, Tony Andrews with the lead. Bucko runs second, and Richard Bootsy is third. Kip Stockwell looks to work his way through traffic. He follows Joe Thomas to the inside. Bucko Branham and Richard Bootsy battle it out for second. Halfway this time by, Tony Andrews still leads it in the 20. Bootsy moves alongside Branham. And Whitcomb moves up alongside Thomas. Three deep into turn 3. Bootsy moves up. Thomas tries to move up. Bootsy gets squirrely. And everyone gathers it up. Joe Thomas looking to take over second. Richard Bootsy hanging tough on the outside. Tony Andrews still leads it. Now Kip Stockwell moves to third. Scott Carpenter looks to move up on the outside. 2 to go, this time by Tony Andrews, your leader. Joe Thomas right on the back bumper. Stockwell moves up on the outside. 1 lap to go. Stockwell looks to move up around Andrews. Joe Thomas not giving up, 3 deep. Thomas cannot get by. Andrews holds him off. They're squirrely. Stockwell on the outside, Thomas on the inside. Down the stretch they come. And Stockwell gets it done. Great action in the Tigers semi-feature. Stockwell gets the victory. Joe Thomas finishes third, and Tony Andrews in the middle gets the second spot. Street stock feature. Brendan Moody and Ray Claflin, and Kevin Sorrell comes down the middle, and they narrowly escape a devastating crash as Sorrell got a bit anxious, and Claflin jumps out to the lead. Here comes Haywood moving into second in the 82 car. Greg Lawrence moves up. We got cars coming from everywhere. Randy Haywood moves around Ray Claflin and takes over the lead. Back in the pack, Kevin Sorrell runs third. Trouble on the backstretch. Dusablon involved, Grego Lawrence involved. And everybody manages to keep it going. Randy Haywood well in front. The battle for the second spot. Kevin Sorrell, Billy Fountain, and now George White tries to move outside of Fountain. Now Claflin goes around. We got major problems. Claflin gets it in the air. We got a major traffic jam. And the caution will come out. They come down the stretch after the caution flag. Randy Haywood with the lead. Fountain moves through in the 91. Randy Ants looks to move up. George White on the outside. Cars everywhere in turn 1. Steve Renadet starts to move his way to the front. Rockwell moves up in the 81. Bill Fountain on the inside. This is a battle for second. Randy Haywood still with the lead. Ron Klein moves up on the outside in his 28. Rockwell moves alongside Haywood. And Ralph Rockwell goes to the front. Randy Haywood runs second. Randy Yance third. George White fourth. Steve Rennedet moves up on the outside to take fifth. Half-time this time by, and Ralph Rockwell extends his lead. Rennedet moves alongside White. Take on Randy Yance. Quite a bit of distance between that pack and the second place car of Randy Haywood. Ralph Rockwell with a half a straightaway lead. Rennedet moves to third. Randy Yance is fourth. George White runs fifth. Bruce Dussablon is sixth. Ron Klein seventh. Mark Lamberton runs eighth, and Monty Lemaire runs ninth. The 10th spot currently rounded out by Jimmy Young. Dussablon tries to move around side George White, and he gets him on the outside. Now he'll take on Randy Yance on the outside, and he moves by the 34. Yance comes back on the inside. Steve Rennedet has moved into second. Quite a bit of ground between Rennedet and your leader. And this is the 81 of Ralph Rockwell. Starts to close as Rennedet goes by the lap cars of Alan Madden and Ray Claflin. But he's running out of time as it's 2 to go this time by. For Ralph Rockwell of North Wolcott, Vermont. Steve Rennedet runs second, but he's not going to have enough time. Rockwell stays low and picks up the win. Rennedet finishes second. Bruce Dussablon third. Randy Haywood, George White, Ron Klein, Monty Lemaire, and Randy Yance. Street stock feature at Airborne International Raceway. Flying Tiger feature. Front row, Bucko Branham on the inside, Red Mead on the outside. Row number 2, Tony Andrews and David Gay. Bob McCaskill and Richard Bootsy start in row number 3. 25 laps, featured time at Airborne. Bucko Branham, your leader. Red Mead running second. Down the stretch they come to complete the first lap. Tony Andrews looks to move up along the inside of Red Mead. David Gay runs fourth. Branham still leads it. Good battle for second. Bucko Branham on the outside. Red Mead moves underneath. Starts to fall back in the 24. Back up front, Red Mead the leader. Goes around the lap car of Lester Armel. Tony Andrews and David Gay battle it out for second. The 66 of Joe Thomas comes to a rest at the exit of turn number 2. We'll have our first caution in the feature. Ready to go back under green. Red Mead starts it in the inside. Tony Andrews on the outside. Mead gets the jump. David Gay moves into second. Bob McCaskill moves up on the inside. Brian Hoare on the outside. Scott Carpenter also moves up in the 36. Red Mead and David Gay, your top two cars. Back to the third spot. Tony Andrews on the inside, Brian Hoare on the outside. Brian Hoare gets loose. He drops back a few spots. Andrews holds down that third spot. And here comes Dave Whitcomb in the 25, the motor on by. Red Mead holding the lead. David Gay still running second. Jim Silly starts to move up on the outside in the 68. He moves alongside Richard Bootsy. And he works his way up toward the top 5. Chip Stockwell moving up in the 16. Stockwell and Andrews side by side. This is a repeat of the semi-feature. They move around the lap car of Lester Armel. Dave Whitcomb and Scott Carpenter. And back up front, Red Mead and David Gay. Mead moves around the lap cars. They're about to lap early leader Buck O'Brien. Gay putting in a fantastic run in the 19. Right on the back bumper of Red Mead, battling for the lead. Looks to move on the inside, but Gay shuts the door. And caution comes out as the 46 of Brian Hoare loops it on the outside of turn number 2. 20 laps complete, 5 to go on the restart. Red Mead on the inside, David Gay on the outside. Dave Whitcomb on the 25 moves on the inside. And Scott Carpenter looks inside of Dave Gay as the 19 car stuck on the outside and dropping back. Silly will look to move inside. Back at the front, Red Mead and Dave Whitcomb. 5 laps to go. Whitcomb looks inside. Mead shuts the door. We got a spin. Back for the lead. Whitcomb moves inside. Mead can't shut the door. And they touch. Mead spins. Cars everywhere. And the caution flag will come out. We'll see what happens here. Dave Whitcomb ran into the back of Red Mead. Both cars went spinning, and they'll probably both go to the back. They give the lead back to Red Mead. Scott Carpenter on the outside, side by side, down the stretch. David Gay third on the inside, Kip Stockwell fourth. Norm Andrews moves into fifth with a 2. Two to go this time by Red Mead, trying to hold off the challenge of Scott Carpenter. Carpenter gets into some fluid on the track. He skids high. We got cars everywhere in turn number 2. Martin goes around in the 57, and we'll have another caution flag.
Here
They come by to take the green flag. There'll be 2 laps to go the next time by. Carpenter on the inside, Red Mead on the outside. Carpenter moves through. And once again we have a pileup. Stockwell goes around. And again, Jim Barton involved. They get the white flag. No caution. Scott Carpenter, Red Mead battle it out. Spin in 4. Barton gets through. Carpenter, Red Mead, they come to the line. Carpenter gets it done. Mead is second. David Gay will finish third. Norm Andrews finishes fourth. Steve Miller fifth. Mark Lanphier gets sixth. Bob McCaskill seventh. Once again, we see a crazy finish in a feature event at Airborne. Cars everywhere on the track, no caution. Cars spinning in front of the leaders, but at the wire, Scott Carpenter in the 36 gets it done. Red Mead is second, and David Gay, with an outstanding run for the young driver from Champlain, finishes third. Napa Legends time. Wayne Seymour and Roger Labonte on the front row. Let's watch. And immediately we have a spin. And cars going 14 wide. And we have another spin. And we have a crash. And we have another spin. And we have a car cutting through the infield. And we've had just about everything you can see in a race except the flip on the first lap. Junior Benoit's going to go for a ride. And the caution flag will come out for the parked vehicle up in turn number 3. We're back under green. Wayne Seymour has the lead. Yes, folks, that car is indeed pink. But I don't think Wayne's going to have the lead for much longer. Wayne's going to make that Cadillac get awful big in these turns, but I don't know if it's going to be big enough to hold off the 9 car. Look out. Yance gets in trouble in the 9. And believe it or not, Wayne Seymour is still in command of the race. That's the Racing Mailman running second. Wayne's in trouble. Here comes the smoke. We got water on the track, cars everywhere. Look out, a car to the wall. And there's still water on the track, and there's still cars going everywhere. We have a car going backwards down the front stretch. And your cameraman has absolutely no idea who's leading. And we have a car on the wall. And we have a car going crazy in the infield. And he almost gets nailed on that car in the front stretch. There's the reason for all this. Fluid pouring out of the 06 of Wayne Seymour. I believe this is a battle for the lead. Ken Williams and Junior Benoit, the 00 and the 74. Benoit gets closer. Benoit moves alongside Kenny Williams. Williams trying to pick up the mail and bring it home here in the Legends. Three wide for the lead, we think. Now Benoit drops off the pace. Steve Dodge, the new leader. Two laps to go. And if the look out, the 24 narrowly sneaks through. We get a multi-car pileup. Let's go back to the lead. Steve Dodge. We've seen so much action in this race, it's unbelievable. One to go. There are more cars littered on the track than there are in the parking lot. But Steve Dodge in a 24 can probably coast home to victory from here. As the hood comes up in a Racing Mailman's car, Steve Dodge gets the win. There's the Racing Mailman. And if I didn't know better, I'd say there was a full moon out tonight. We got cars spinning under caution. Let's see if the Racing Mailman can finish here. There's the Mailman. He's going to finish with his hood up. And finally, the Legends come to an end.